In the spring of 1978, I reached out to a number of firms, and Gene's firm was one of them. I distinctly remember calling the office repeatedly and never getting anyone to answer the phone. Couldn't leave a message, got a little frustrated. But anyway, about 10 days later, connected, came in for an interview. In May of 1978, I started with the firm. As I think about now a nearly 39-year career with the firm, I'm reminded of this extraordinary friendship with Gene. Great projects we've worked on together, clients that we've had the privilege of working with. And I must tell you, I'm so grateful today that I took the time and was patient and kept making those phone calls to the office. I can't imagine my career and my life without the influence of Gene.
How many times have we heard Gene tell us, you've got to stay curious, you got to keep your eyes open. I remember a few years ago he led a tour at the WashU campus, and we were standing in the middle of the Brookings quad, surrounded by these buildings by Cope and Stewardson, and he pointed out how the granite was laid into the walls and the subtle variation of colors, and the variation of the parapets from one building to the next, and how they met the sky. You know, I was a student at Washington U for 2 years and never noticed these things. Gene used the quadrangle as a classroom. He was a great teacher.
So things that I'm going to miss the most about Gene are how much he helped me on the WashU projects, and also how much I learned from him over these last few years. He was, for me, the mentor, the leader, the ever-present focus of what I was trying to accomplish with WashU, and I hope I can emulate everything he's done for me, with other people, and with other projects I work on.
One of the things Gene was known for doing was going into places where the public was not allowed. And if anyone stopped him in a position of authority or security and would ask, "What are you doing here?" he would simply reply, "I'm the architect." It was amazing. That was enough to let him get on with his tour, and he always got away with it. He was just kind of a renegade. The other thing about Gene that I always appreciated was his willingness to explore. And I had the benefit, the time with Gene, of going to SCUP every summer. And no matter where we went, we always found time to explore wherever that conference was. And I'll never forget one evening in Washington where he was like, "Come with me, we're going to go to this hotel." And I'll never forget sitting with him on the rooftop of this hotel. It was a rooftop restaurant, outdoors, the sun setting, the warmth of the light across his face, and then off in the distance, the Washington Monument. And it was just a place that he knew that was part of our tour and exploration.
I'd like to describe Gene in 4 words using American Sign Language, spelling out his name. G, great. E, enthusiastic. N, natural. And E, emeritus. So to Gene, so long for just a while.
Gene and I feel like we had a really special connection, and we bonded over design. And we also shared, on a fun note, a love of chocolate. In fact, he would get chocolate into the office, knew how much I liked it, and he'd stash a secret box. And in fact, there's one still here today. And so sometimes he'd just be in the office, and he'd be across the room, and he'd just come up to me. It's like, we know the secret. So it was a really sweet way of connecting. And I'll miss you, Gene.
So 8 years ago when I started at Mackey, Gene took a group of us new employees on a walking tour of downtown architecture, and he ended in the best spot. It was on top of this parking garage with this dramatic view of the Wainwright building windows, and it was great. And now, 8 years later, I give tours of downtown architecture, and I end every single one on top of that parking garage, and when everybody is just oohing and eyeing, I have to say a little quiet thanks to Gene for that inspiration.
I think about what we lost and I feel empty. I think about everything that he gave us and everything that he made us, and it lifts me up. And I think that's what carries us forward.
I remember meeting Gene on my first day. I remember him taking the time to meet a brand new face in the office. I thought that was incredible. I thought that was very meaningful to me. Watching him walk through the door day after day, fully suited up, ready to go, it was just incredible. I learned a lot from him. I'm very happy to have known him.
A few years ago, on a sunny Saturday morning, a few of us from Mackey Mitchell Architects went on one of Gene's architectural tours of St. Louis. Towards the end of the tour, our last stop was at Bishop DeBerg High School in South St. Louis, which was designed by Gene's father. As we're pulling into the parking lot, we notice that there's an event going on at the school. So instead of finding one of the first parking spots available, Gene decides to go and just park on the sidewalk in front of the main entry. Those of us in the car just kind of looked at each other, shrugged our shoulders, kind of laughed, and then we went on about our tour of the building.
I want to read an email that Gene sent me when I was at another firm and struggling with trying to get work. He wrote, "I went through all of these same frustrations. You must always take the long view, grab your successes where you can, and make lots of friends along the way. Maintain high values and standards, challenge your team to stretch themselves to go beyond their highest goals. If you do this day by day, you have a chance of getting there." Wise words when I needed them most.
My favorite picture of Gene is of him as a little boy with his father and was taken at the Soldiers Memorial Court of Honor. To me, this photo speaks to the legacy of the Mackey name, two remarkable men, and the impact they would have on this great city. It is such a candid shot and shows a very personal side of their lives, a true father-son moment. To me, this photo brings a lot of emotion as we look back, only to know that the greatness to come and the impact Gene would have on so many.
Gene had a natural generosity that I admired. He frequently started conversations by saying, "What's needed here and what can I do to help?" He led with compassion and curiosity, and he taught me that the significance of architecture lies in its potential to shape experience and improve lives, just as our lives were improved having known him.
When I joined the firm in 1988 as Gene's assistant, there was a large expanse of glass between us. During one of our many spirited debates, Gene called out to me, chuckling, "Cindy, you know I live in fear that one of these days you're going to throw a rock through that thing." So the next day, I came in with this. From then on, whenever Gene would lead a tour of the office, he would stop at my desk and say, "Cindy, show him the rock." To me, this rock represents Gene's love of a good challenge. Of course, I was never tempted to actually throw it, but I do miss threatening him with it. I love you, Gene.